Last game of the round robin in the books now with this year's Memorial Cup. And Kevin, a big statement win for the Seattle Thunderbirds, a team that many had as the favorites leading into this tournament. They beat Kamloops 6-1 tonight, and some quick strike offense coming through for them.
Yeah, you know what? The one thing they weren't able to do is get off to good starts in their previous 2 games in this tournament. Well, they got the start that they wanted. I thought they were really good the first 6-7 minutes, and then Kamloops was able to take over the game, but Seattle was still able to get the first goal. And then from there, they went and capitalized on a couple mistakes, a bomb from Jared Davidson, and then they were able to capitalize on another mistake from Kamloops. That's Gustafson right in the slot, a beautiful pass from Krinkovic. 6 goals for Seattle tonight, 6 different goal scorers. I didn't think either team put together a 60-minute effort. There was times in this game where it was sloppy. It was like they were kicking the puck around, but sometimes that's what Seattle's good at, is they're just able to hang around. Their depth went to work. Their goaltender stopped 30 of 31 shots, and often he's the difference. He was here in a game tonight where Seattle won in a big way, 6-1.
And on the other side of the equation, Kevin, Kamloops, they beat Peterborough big 10-2 on Sunday. Now, after losing this game, they got to turn around and play in a tiebreak against a highly motivated team tomorrow.
Yeah, they should be motivated as well. Listen, they were really good. They came out on fire against Peterborough, and they always talk about energy, right? Energy seems to be the keystone that unlocks everything for this team, but their energy tonight was maybe a little bit more nervous energy, where I just didn't think that they were able to get to their game, and they were sloppy with the puck. They were really good for about 13 minutes in the first period, and I thought, okay, they're building into this game, and then they come out in the second period, and they were just soggy, and they were never really able to recapture any kind of momentum. So now they've put themselves in a situation where it's do or die against a motivated team in Peterborough, like you mentioned.
Well, with that in mind, we'll send it back to the panel with Laura Diakun for more thoughts on this one. Laura?
Yes, and join alongside Cheryl Pounder as well as Craig Button as the puzzle pieces starting to take shape here at the 2023 Memorial Cup presented by Kia. We know the Quebec Remparts already through to Sunday's final, and with the result here tonight, the Seattle Thunderbirds are through to the semifinal on Friday. And they scored just 1 goal their last time out, but the offense got back on track at just the right time. 10 different players picking up a point here tonight. And it all changed in a blink of an eye.
It did. And before I get to that, though, you know, you heard Kevin just talk about, you know, not playing a 60-minute game. At this point in the season, it's impossible for one team to dominate for 60 minutes. There's back and forth. There's give and take. And I thought the Seattle Thunderbirds really took a lot early in this game. They started like they did. They took advantage of their chances early. Right off the bat, Dylan Gunther had a great chance. And then they get the first goal. And a lot of positives, a lot of things they were building on from that loss versus Quebec. A solid game versus Quebec, but not a finishing game. But when you talk about the 8 seconds that really turn this game, it's a 1-1 game. And, you know, this is where you get the back and forth. And quickly, Dylan Gunther recognizes, oh, Jared Davidson's wide open down the wing, and then Davidson with an excellent shot. Now you got to get ready for the face-off. And this is where the real game turns here. Puck comes back under control, Cheryl, and then it becomes a mess.
Well, yeah, and Cheryl goes back, and I was a former defender, so I know what this feels like, because now the coverage is lost. No one is expecting that, including your goaltender, who can't get set to position, so they're able to finish that one off, and it's so difficult. They're going to have to clean up that in the second period against the Remparts. They did give up 3 goals in 4 minutes and 37 seconds, so the second period hasn't been a great one for them.
Bunches.
Scoring
in bunches. Okay, well, when it comes to the Seattle team, just loaded with talent, right? 10 NHL draft picks, 5 first-rounders, and the forward groups just come at you at waves. It's impossible. You stop one, and another one's coming right behind them. But there was one line in particular tonight that really dominated.
Well, Craig, we've been talking about them all tournament long, right? Siona, Davidson, and Kronkovic. And these 3 athletes, they're just doing everything they can to get on the board. They had 7 points in this game alone, 13 shots on goal, and they got it started early in the first period. They got on the board, some good play here, but look at Siona. He drives to the middle of the ice to make himself available. Nice little pass here. And then he recognizes he's coming through the mid lane, that he needs support, he needs some help. So he doesn't drive through the middle. He cuts wide to buy some time for Davidson to drive through the mid lane. And he is wide open. Look at his stick is available. And then the recognition of where that open ice is, that soft area pass that he can skate onto Davidson as he's directing his stick towards the net. And Siona also follows up and is able to get his stick in and around the paint and buries it home. Again, on on that next goal by that line. It was all about that quick up. And listen, Davidson gets the goal, but he also drew the penalty to get that power play marker. And then Krinkovic, who's been excellent in this tournament, just thought he made a real nice play, put the puck to the net as it had gone low to high. Nice little switch up top. You're starting to see the chemistry of that line, and we've really been impressed with them all tournament long, Craig.
It's a deep, deep team.
Yeah.
Seattle up front, they are really deep. And, you know, this is just the challenge that they're going to pose for any team they play, because they can go so deep in their lineup with scoring up front. And you got to be aware of everybody, and you get a little bit of a disadvantage, and you're going to be taken advantage of. That's exactly what happened in this game for the Kamloops Blazers.
Cheryl, the former defender, smile on her face when it was announced that Luke Prokop, the defenseman for the Seattle Thunderbirds, named the player of the game. Before we talk about him, let's hear what he had to say. Here he is with Julia Chicheri.
Luke, you're back at the Memorial Cup for the second year in a row. This time you have the opportunity to play in the semis. What's it mean to you?
A lot, especially in my last year. Not being able to get it done last year was kind of a hard way to end the season, and to be back and with this team, with this group of guys, it's exciting.
So you're a defenseman. Tell me what this stat means to you. 51-0 when your team leads after 2 periods. What's that say about the group?
I mean, we have a lot of depth back there, and I think our coaches have done a great job in just building us chemistry and making one another play together right. And then, I mean, obviously, I think we're the best goaltender in the league, kind of behind there for our mistakes. So he's done an unbelievable job all year, and he gets all the credit he deserves.
Semis up next. What's it going to take to get the win in that game?
I think a start. Our past 2 games, our start hasn't been great. I thought we came out today really well, and just continuing to play our way. It's going to be very hard for teams to beat when we play the T-Bird style hockey.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So Luke Prokop getting the Memorial Cup mulligan and making the most of it here in Kamloops, BC, and just bringing some much-needed experience to this team as well, because this was as close to a must-win game as you can get, because now they've got a day off tomorrow before playing in the semifinal on Friday.
So we talk about how deep they are up front. We talk about how great Milic is, and then we talk about how deep
No
they are on the
weaknesses,
blue
right?
line. Yeah,
Yes.
none.
Yep.
And Luke Prokop, you talk about his experience, Laura. I mean, that is significant. The 2 additions of Luke Prokop and Nolan Allen were really significant. They can play the hard minutes, they can play the heavy minutes, but Luke Prokop, he's a closer when it comes to opponent's space. You're coming down on it, he doesn't give you very much. He closes it down. He makes really smart, efficient plays when the puck is on his stick. I mean, yeah, he gets a goal here, but the exits, Cheryl, his ability to remain calm, and he's just a defenseman that's big, strong, defensive-minded, but don't sleep on his offense, because he'll jump into the attack and maybe not put up these big, gaudy offensive numbers, but he's going to support the offensive thrust. Just a real pillar of strength on that blue line for the Seattle Thunderbirds.
You said it, a pillar of strength. And often when you're a defenseman, it's about keeping it simple and playing, moving that puck up ice, clean exits, as you mentioned. I also like just his gap control. I mean, the way he uses his stick, he's a big man. He shuts down in neutral ice. So what that means is he's not allowing the entry. He does that. He stays within the middle of the ice. So for everyone at home, that means between the dots. So he knows exactly where to be. His first step is always back. He can take a hit to separate. And then again, he pushes the offense forward. So yeah, he gets one tonight, but it's not all flash and dash. But sometimes that's what it takes. You're not saying his name all the time. It's the subtle nuances that make him so effective.
Uncharted territory for us here. First time since 2015, so first time in 8 years that a tiebreaker is needed to decide the semifinal match. We know one opponent, of course, that being the Seattle Thunderbirds, and the Peterborough Petes, the OHL champs, were patiently waiting for this game to end. So now we know who they will be facing tomorrow. That'll be the Kamloops Blazers, the hometown team. Our pregame show gets underway at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time.